All right, we're going to do kind of a little recap here. We've played our qualifying round, our Monday qualifying round, and we're just kind of see what we should be shooting. This hole here, we're going quarterback. We used a katana. Well, we used a Titan last time. And I think we're kind of in between clubs. The Titan was too much for our shot down here. So it put us too close to the edge, whereas if we had a katana, it would have gave us a little more club. So we're going quarterback, sniper, katana, and trying to go for albatross. So this is definitely an albi hole. You have to get an eagle. So on hole number 1, you're looking for a -2 with a possibility of -3. Make some notes here. 6, 7, 8, 9. So on hole number 2, this hole here, once again, this is a par 4. We're going to be going out here and trying to put our long iron. So on this hole, we've got a extra mile. I'm using a Titan. Pick up some of that distance there. Don't have to use a lot of topspin. If you end up out in the rough here, you still have a shot, but ideally you want to be able to come out here and use your long iron. I'm picking a Saturn because it's got a little more backspin than my backbone. The other way you could go is you could come out here and then you're ending up in your thorn range. The thing I don't like about this shot is that the drive to get there is a lot trickier. So if you end up out here, you got a great shot for eagle. But the deal is that if you make any mistakes at all down here, you could end up not getting a birdie. So, and I'm not a big fan of this side at all. So I usually play on the left-hand side, trying to get out here as far as I can, and using my Saturn to get on. So on that hole here, -1 is getting a birdie is pretty much your average, but you're looking for that eagle. Hole number 3. I like this hole. I used to think of this hole as just a get your birdie and go home. I was always shooting it over here from the left, the racetrack side, but I started shooting it from the right-hand side where I'm coming up here and I'm using a katana or a sniper or a Titan, either one, and I am wedging my white ring on my sniper so that it's up against this sand and up against this rough, and then I'm using one top spin and just about a half of right hand side spin to bring the ball up into here and drop it back down to the hole. In this hole here, once again, you're looking for the birdie, which is -1, but you're playing for that hole-in-one. I think this is a fairly legitimate hole that you could get a hole-in-one on. Hole number 4. I'm playing this with a quarterback. Last time we played it with a quarterback and a kingmaker, and what we found was we needed to add a little bit of power. We ended up basically between these shadows. We're actually right about in here, right in this shadow, so that we still had a little bit of this rough here. You want to get up here in between or even in this shadow. If you get up here in between or you're in this shadow, you're going to be in your long iron range. And any long backbone is going to work great here. It's going to give you a little bit better. You're going to have enough backspin and enough of the right stuff to be able to get it in, but you need to get up into this area. So we used a kingmaker and a quarterback. We're going to have to apply some power to get us up in here, just to get us a little bit further. We were right on the edge here. We used our sniper to get in, but if we'd have been just a little bit further up, we could have used our backbone, and it would have been a much better shot at the eagle. So here you're looking at -1 is going to be your average, but you're trying to give yourself the best shot for an eagle. Hole number 5. Hole number 5, big topper all the way, trying to get out here into the 400-yard range, trying to get way out here so that you can use your big dog, where your first bounce on your big dog is going to be in here. If you get up there far enough, you're going to be able to get here, or maybe even start here. If you can get your big dog where you can start here. So we're going to definitely want to bring a big ball, Titan. Not so much for the first shot, but for the second shot. But if you're over in here, the goal is to try and get on this pad right here, because you're not going to have to, if you use an extra mile here, you're going to have to bounce from here with whatever long iron you brought, and you're going to want to land up in this area so that you give yourself this shot for that eagle. Whereas if you use your big topper, your extra mile is going to put you out about here. Your big topper is going to put you out about here. So the difference there is that you're not going to have to start here with your big dog. You're going to be able to start here with your big dog. And so you can get yourself either into this area right here, or you can put yourself on this pad and give yourself a very nice wedge shot to get in. So definitely big topper, big dog, Titan all the way. So on this hole, once again, you're looking at an average of a birdie, but you're really trying to give yourself that best shot for that eagle. And there is a legitimate eagle shot here if you can place your drive correct. This hole here is a hole-in-one hole all the way. I'm using a backbone, trying to start off in the very center of this so that if you do happen to hit great left or right, you don't end up in the rough over here and then take this hole from a great hole-in-one shot to a let's get a par. I used a nav on this hole, so this hole once again is a great shot for hole-in-one. Legitimate. This hole right here, we used an extra mile. I used a katana on this hole, and I think actually the Titan. If I switch, I'm going to switch to a Kingmaker, because then that'll give us a little bit better wind control on this on the shot end. We were able to make this. We were in our mid club with our short iron, and we were able to put this in, but we ended up what I would consider a little bit short down here. We actually would like to be up a little bit more, and I would prefer to be up a little bit more, but not necessarily in my wedge range. I don't mind shooting my Hornet at minimum club. So I think on this hole, extra mile, Hornet, I'm using a rapier, and I think I'm going to use a Kingmaker next time we play this hole. This hole here, once again, is a -1, but this has a awesome potential for -2. Awesome. There are lots of holes in here where you've got great opportunities for picking up that extra one. Almost every hole. A lot of times, you don't have a super legitimate shot at getting an eagle or getting that hole-in-one. But on this particular tournament, I think we're going to see some super low scores. There's going to be some people that just are hooked up. This is one of those holes that, while I'm always close and I have hole-in-one, this to me is not a high percentage hole-in-one. You want to give yourself the best shot at hole-in-one, but I practiced today with a sniper and a quasar, but I think I'm going to switch to back. I've played this hole a lot with my Guardian and a katana, and I think I'm going to switch back. I may stick with the sniper and switch to a katana just so that I get a little more side spin so I don't have to use as much curl. But this hole here to me is, there's going to be a certain group of people that do get hole-in-ones on this, but this is not going to be a high percentage hole-in-one. This is going to be one of those holes that's the make or break. You absolutely, positively have got to get an eagle on this hole. There's just no two ways around it. If you play, and I mean that's the deal. You have to get a hole. You have to get an eagle. And the best way to do it, the easiest way to do it, is with a power 5 ball. Now, if you have a power 4 ball that's got low wind, like the new balls that are out, or the Origin balls, you can probably still do it by using the wind when you're down here. It's not about the first shot. It's actually about the second shot. Your first shot, you're kind of laid up a little bit. And what I see a lot of people do here is they're starting off here and going over, and it's a layup shot from here. So what you want to do is you want to the red line's out here when you're using a power 5 ball, and you want to get up as close to that red line as you can, so that the shot from the tee pad to here is the longest that you can make it. so that the ball got as much flight on that first one as possible. So that means the second bounce is going to be longer than if you came out here. So if you come up here, that first shot is from this distance, and then it's going to carry that power through, and your second bounce is not going to be as far as if you can squeeze up. So you want to try and get up here as far as you can, but this is downhill, and it slopes down towards that sand right at the very end here of the fairway. So it's really important that you give yourself a 2 ring, if you're using an extra mile, 2 full rings of, and then make the wind adjustment, because it's going to carry that forward about a ring and a half, at least a good ring. And so you do not want to be up here. If you end up here in the rough or in the sand, then your birdie shots are going to be tough. So give yourself lots of room here, and the goal is to get down into here. So when you hit this shot, you're going to want to put maximum side spin, and you're going to want to use at least half the curl that you have on your club. If you've got a lower developed extra mile, you want to use all the curl. You want to end up as close down here to these shadows as possible. And you want to be in the 400-yard range. So if you're up here and you're in the 400-yard range, you're in the 400-yard range here, this distance here is shorter to here than it is from here to here. So the closer you can get down here to these shadows, the better off you're going to be. And there used to be a guy named Nicholas that played back in the day, and I learned from him this rough bump of not trying to come out here and then get your ball around the corner and do something spectacular, where if you miss that, you could end up rolling off the back of the green and end up in the sand. Of using this rough here, doing a rough bump. We did one today. It was about 5.5 topspin. I would have liked to have been a little bit closer. We didn't quite get all that we could get on our drive, but doing a topspin roll here with your big dog to get out clear of the rough, and then either putting or making a short chip to get into the hole. But you have to get an eagle on this hole. It's just a requirement. You're not going to win unless you get an eagle on this hole both times. So you're going to have to use either a 4-power ball, and the 4-power ball is not going to hurt you so much on your drive. It's going to hurt you on this second shot. So if you have 5-power balls, this is definitely a hole that you want to pop out one of those 5-power balls. All right, so let's see what we got here. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11, a minus 11 is just your perfect no mistakes round. That's not picking up any of the eagles or the hole-in-ones or doing anything spectacular. That's just playing it out. And your chances here of getting an albatross are extremely low. I mean, the eagle's what you're looking for, and an eagle's pretty much what you want to get. So if we hit everything perfect and we made every one of these extra shots that we have legitimate chances for, it's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you're looking at minus 18 could be the low if somebody hit every single one of them. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes that you could pick up a shot. And so it's going to be real important during the week as we go that you're going to need to pick up a couple of those on each side. You know, you're really looking at trying to get the 24 to 26 so that you've picked up at least one on each side. If you can pick up 2 on each side, you're looking at the 26, and 26 to 28 is going to win a lot of these brackets. I think if you're in the higher divisions, those numbers may change a little bit. Sometimes the numbers will go up in the higher divisions because they can use the wind more to their advantage on some of these holes. Whereas if you're playing a rookie, we don't have as big a wind, so we don't have to make as big of adjustments, but we have to be very accurate, and we have to bring the right clubs on these holes. So if you're in rookie, minus 11, that's pretty much just a clean round, no mistakes. But what you really want to be looking for is probably somewhere in the minus 14 range. You want to pick up 2 to 3 shots a side. So if you can shoot the 26 to 28, I think you've got a legitimate shot at being at least top 3 in your bracket. All right, that was just kind of a little rundown of the holes. Thanks for watching.